I am? Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Anyway, hi, I'm Lee Rushing. We've never met. We've never met until this morning. I had already met Andrew. He had been a part of our aerial selfie that we did the first time that I came out here. I didn't do a class on drones, but anyway, we can go out there and do that again today, and if you want to. But I'm Lee Rushing. I'm the owner, chief inspector, I guess, of ProVantage Inspections. I got my instruction, my education at Champion School of Real Estate this year, and just made a big transition from pastoral ministry into real estate inspections this last year, and am blowing and going, and I love the inspection industry. It's why I got in it. I hope it's the last job I ever have. Anyway, I want to show you some things about drones that I'm using for doing inspections, but also some additional things that you can use for it in real estate and what you're doing for sales, for marketing, for all sorts of stuff, because there's a variety of uses that you can use it for. If you've got the handout, I want you to see that, and I'm going to go through some of the pictures and so forth. I want to show you an aerial photo.
Thank you.
In 1971, my sophomore year in high school. Yeah, there's a brochure, but I'm going to be mainly talking from the handout that has all the big pictures. There you go, the pictures in it. In 1971, my sophomore year in high school, my dad started a business. He was also into real estate. He owned a bunch of rent houses in the Bel Air area of Houston, if you're familiar with that. I grew up maintaining, painting, caulking, fixing, cutting trees, yards that were 3 feet high in the backyard that tenants didn't keep up. I grew up on roofs in attics, and he started a business. He still always had the rent houses, but then he started a business, was in the valve and actuator business in '71, and he moved a couple times. And then when he took one of his rent houses, this is an aerial photo, a vintage aerial photo from 1980. It looks like a vintage aerial photo. It's all yellowed, right? This was hanging in my dad's garage. And when he passed away, I took the aerial photo, and as my dad always did, he always wrote stuff on the back of anything he received. He bought this it was taken April 18th, 1980, and he paid $85 for it. I looked up the address and the phone number there. The address is a mobile home park. This is a guy that lived in a mobile home and was flying around an airplane with his camera taking pictures and selling photographs. That's what he was. This was my dad's business, but he took this, this was one of his rent houses. He took this, it was a farmhouse on Allen Road off of Main Street, south of Main Street and off of Post Oak in far southwest Houston. And he took this house that somebody was living in, and he converted it into offices. He bought this warehouse at an auction and then added a little connector here, which was the break room, and the main front, the side door was the front door. But this was his office that he worked at for the last 20 years of his career. And somebody flew around and took this and knocked on the door, and I guess said, "Do you want to buy an aerial photo?" And my dad did. And I was curious, what's $85 today?
Yeah.
It's about $250 to $300. So for $250 or $300 in today's dollars, my dad got one aerial photo. I scanned it in, and that's it right there. Now, you want to see it? You can Photoshop a picture. You can do this with wedding pictures, all sorts of stuff. But look at what it looks like with some simple Photoshop. It looks like it was taken yesterday. But anyway, I've seen this picture my whole life. I saw that place go from all the grading. I saw the warehouse go up. I used to work on this house when it was a rent house for my dad. I almost got eaten alive. They had 2 Great Danes. And I was in there were swinging doors from the kitchen to the dining room, and I had to go in the house because the plumbing was all stopped up. It was on a septic system. And I was standing there in the dining area, and somebody walked from the dining area to the kitchen, and the swinging door swung open and stuck. And there was a Great Dane in there. And all of a sudden, this dog is doing this, and his feet are slipping. He can't get any traction. If he did, I wouldn't be here today, okay? His feet are going like this, 90 miles an hour. He can't get any traction, and somebody yelled his name. killer. I've never forgotten that. And killer froze. And I was frozen. Because I'm telling you, if he could have gotten traction, his mouth, he was a big dog. Those were the tenants. There was a chain link fence all the way around it. These dogs just ran, scot-free. I never thought when my dad told me he was going to convert this into an office, I thought, no way. And he did. So anyway, that was a rental property. I was part of the construction process even then. This was in 1979 when he started doing that. But anyway, there's a variety of use for aerial photography today, and it's totally changed because of this little thing right here, or big thing. And you'll see different kinds of drones. If you see any that are out there, you'll see some different manufacturers of them. Some people will say, well, I saw a drone in the store the other day. It was $69. Yeah, it's about this big. This is not a $69 drone, I will just tell you that. It has a 4K camera on it to be able to take really high resolution pictures. And what people used to do from airplanes, you can do with drones now. It really is remarkable. And you can stand there on the ground and take lots of different pictures, and it's not just a hard copy. You can Photoshop them, you can crop it, you can zoom in, and I'm going to show you some examples of some of that stuff in a few minutes. But some of the varieties of uses for it are, one, inspections. When I got in the inspection business, there was a friend of mine who he uses a drone for doing roof inspections because he doesn't get on all the roofs that he inspects. And neither do I. But a lot of roofs they're too high, they're too steep, they're inaccessible. Now, yeah, you'll see these guys up there roofing those houses. Those are qualified, experienced roofers who do it all the time. And I'll tell you, sometimes when you're climbing up that ladder to get to the second floor of a roof, your stomach just starts to tell you, get off the ladder. Don't step on the roof. I almost fell off the roof last week. I got that, this will be okay. It was first floor was a real low pitch. Then it had two dormers on the front, really nice custom home. And then above the dormer was the peak of the roof, and there was a chimney right on the other side. Well, I just wanted to kind of walk up the valley of the dormer to get to the chimney to see it. Well, when I did, my foot on the second step slipped. And when your foot slips like that, all of a sudden, yeah. And I froze. I didn't look at the chimney. I sent my drone up to look at that. But gravel on a roof can wind up, it can be like oil. It can be so slippery if it starts to slide. Plus, I need to look at getting some really good roof shoes. And I've now convinced my wife that we need to invest in that. But the drone is great for inspections. I'm going to show you some pictures of that in a minute. It's good for real estate property pictures for listings. I'm going to show you some of those in there too. I've got all of this on this paper, but I'm going to show it to you on the screen, and I can blow it up a little bit. But it's great for real estate listings. Waterfront properties, wow. Man, you can go out over the water, turn the drone around, take a picture of the back of the house, which is usually nicer than the front of the house on a waterfront property, and that's what you want to show off. When you take a picture from the air, it just makes the picture pop. You get the boat slip, you get the bulkhead, you get the yard, you get a couple of different angles, and you get the sun hitting it just right, and man, it just makes a picture really stand out versus taking one from a boat or from the ground, even 30 feet up with a simple home. And I've got one I'm going to show you that I took for an inspection the other day in Jacobs Reserve. Pretty typical home, but a little elevation, a little angle makes the picture really stand out. I'll show you that. But you can use it for marketing and promotional pieces also. Open the handout that I got, and you're going to see your chili cook-off. See that one right there at the top? That's your office. That's your parking lot. I don't know about you, but that is actually a really favorite picture of mine that I've taken with the drone. It makes your real estate agency look like something's happening. It's alive. People are waving. They're smiling. It's all spread out too. And it captures the event from a little bit different angle. It's not just like a portrait. and everybody's in there, you know, Andrew, you looking for you?
I found Frank.
Yeah, Frank's right over here. There's Frank right there, standing tall, waving high. But man, you could use that to market something here in your office. Show people what a great office you guys have, right? Here's a picture talking about Champion School of Real Estate. I had just finished sponsoring a breakfast, and I was up there in the front office talking with some of the staff, and said, hey, it was a picture perfect day. I said, hey, would you like to go outside and see the drone? They said, sure. Well, Rita walks in also. So I'm outside talking with Rita, showing her how the drone's flying, and then I took this picture, sent it back to them, and now they want me to come and photograph their annual Pink Day event that they have. And so anyway, you can use it for all sorts of events. Can you think of any other uses that you guys could use aerial photography for? Anything come to mind?
I'm very interested in doing neighborhood videos.
Okay, yeah.
Not just a listing, but like if I want to, in my geo farms, I want to shoot the whole neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then that could be uploaded to the MLS as long as it's not branded, along with the listing in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to create websites for each of my geo farm neighborhoods and I want to feature drone videos on them.
Okay, super. Well, let's, we're going to go film your neighborhood this morning, right?
Let's do it today.
Yeah.
Let's start today.
What are some of the benefits of using a drone? One, with inspections, if I can't get on a roof of a house that you're selling, I can see stuff with the drone that if you're using inspectors that don't use a drone for roofs, you're missing something. I'll just say that because I'm going to show you some pictures. I had my parents' house inspected. On the front of my brochure, this pink house right here, that's my mom and dad's historic home on Broadway in Galveston. It's very personal to me. We've owned this house since 1991. My dad completely gutted the house, restored it to what it was like when it was built, actually better, rewired it, replumbed it, changed a few walls here and there. It's a pier and beam home that was built in 1928. It's called the Trueheart Home in Galveston. It has a basement to it. The walls are, I think, almost a foot and a half thick, the exterior walls. They are concrete. It is a fort. Behind the house, and I'll show you a picture in a minute, behind the house is a carriage house. It was originally, the structure was built in the 1890s for horses and buggies. You should see the wood in this thing. When the house was built, they converted that to a two-story apartment with garages underneath, and that was my parents' estate for the last 25 years. My dad died a little over 3 years ago. We moved my mom a year and a half ago. We put the house on the market. We're closing on the house Wednesday. I just talked to my mom on Woodlands Parkway on the way over here. Was supposed to close a week ago. It didn't. Had a hiccup in the closing, and it's closing. I had it inspected. I could not inspect it. I did not want to have any conflict of interest in the house at all. I had another guy in Galveston inspect the house. He did not have a drone. He did not get on the roof. He did not see the stuff that I did. I took pictures personally of the house after he inspected it, and I had to show my mom, look at the things that we're seeing on the roof. The roof on the house is original to 1928. It's the original tile roof. Yeah. I'm going to show you an 88-year-old roof in a minute, okay? I got those pictures with the drone. I was able to convince my mom as an inspector, but also as her son. If I was the real estate agent, I would be telling her, ma'am, this roof, a smart buyer is not going to buy this house with the roof in this condition without taking something off of it to repair it. We came down on the price of the house $128,000 because of the roof, because of other things that needed to be done in the whole structure. Original asking price was $498,500. We sold it for $370,000, cash deal. I was able to convince my mom, lovingly, but logically, Mom, the roof has lived out its life. We've gotten our use out of it. My dad did not replace it when he bought the house. He had a few things done to it, but there's no way that you can climb a roof like that. You can't get up on it or anything. I got that with the drone. That's That's a big roof. The other day I was inspecting a house up off of 2854 in Conroe. 8-year-old house. I could not get up on the roof, sent the drone up. I saw loose shingles that used to be around the plumbing roof jacks. I could not see those, even with my binoculars. I was down on the ground looking at the house from all the way around. I could not see it from that vantage point. Popped the drone up there, and I used those pictures from the drone, zoomed in on it in my inspection report, and was able to show that shingles around the roof jacks it was next to it. And so you can catch that. So it's really great for inspections, and you can see things. The very first inspection that I did, the roof was covered with pine needles. It was too steep and it was too dirty to get on top of. And because of the pine needles, it was holding water, retaining water, and then water was seeping into a couple of spots in the garage area. I used the drone, flew it over the house, zoomed in on a couple of spots. The buyers actually wound up having a roofer change the construction of the roof to accommodate the water flow, and did that with the drone. So it's really helpful. Some other benefits: it gives you vantage points for showing properties. These front pictures are all just pictures of properties. This picture right here with the red lines around it, that's 14 acres. Are you going to be able to get pictures of 14 acres from the ground? No way. That's a simple shot that shows it, and I'm going to show you the rest of the pictures of that property also. The house, the barn, the 6-car garage, and the pond that he has on the property. But that right there is one that you could pop on a listing and really help it stand out. Another benefit with the drone as an inspector, customers love it. If you're photographing their house, if they're there, and many times they are there, right? They open the door for you. But if you're flying the drone, they want to see this more than the other camera. When I'm doing inspections, if the client or the homeowner is there, it doesn't matter. I ask them if they want to come out and watch. Many times they do, and it's relationship building, it's fun. It helps to just build that relationship and make them feel comfortable. And it's also showing them, yes, people call it a toy, but it's a tool. And it's a fun tool. And it's just another way to build relationships. Inspections, different vantage points for marketing, just because it's fun and people like it. Can you think of any other benefits that might be used for it? You might derive from it. When I take it to real estate classes, I didn't have my drone with me the first couple of classes that I went to, and I will tell you that I don't know, it might have been the third class I went to, I just took the drone, put the blades on, set it on the table while I was doing my quick little 10-minute, dog and pony show, with that right there, even all the real estate agents, they perk up. There's something about the drone that just perks people up. If I never used it for anything, it'd just be good to perk people up with, because they like it. But here's some pictures. You saw that, my dad's business. That now, it's still a business. My dad sold it 25 years ago, and it is a European auto shop. Guy works on Jaguars, Mercedes, and BMWs and stuff like that in that big garage. I cleaned that warehouse too many times. It's my parents' house. From the ground, the roof looks okay, doesn't it? This is from the roof. It still looks reasonably okay, right? But when you start zooming in, do you see this spot right here? Here on this sheet, I've got these things circled. Open this up. This picture is this one right here. Right there where the circle is on the right, that is a whole ridge where the tiles are totally missing. They're not just broken, they're gone. They're not even on the roof. Like, where did they go? Did my dad have tile debris on the ground at some point? They're gone. Right here, you see another circle. These are all cracked. Amazingly, there wasn't a single leak that we could find inside the roof. I was blown away. That's one picture right there. The next one, over here, tiles right there. There's the tile, that ridge tile is sitting right there. This tile is cockeyed. All over the roof. Missing tile right there. Missing tile right there. How do you replace a few missing tiles on a roof like that that's 90 years old? The other ones are cracked. The other ones are brittle. They're old. Really, the only thing to do with a roof like this is you've got to replace it. How do you tell somebody that they have to replace a roof that's going to be as expensive as one like this? This isn't a $10,000 roof. Plus, it's 2 buildings. I've tried to find out how much it would cost to replace this roof. I have not been able to get an estimate because of it being a historic home also. For this house, you have to go through the historic foundation to have stuff like that approved. So whatever roof you get put on it, because it's on because of that in Galveston. The building in the back is a rolled flat roof that's sloped like a shed. But look at all these tiles right here. You ever seen the movie Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston, 1959?
Sure.
Until just a few years ago, it had won more Academy Awards than any other movie in history, until I think it was Titanic. The whole problem between Charlton Heston, who was Ben-Hur, and Masala happened because of a loose ridge tile. He's leaning over, looking at the crowd of Romans as they're coming down the street on their horses, and a tile slips and falls. And that started the whole commotion of the whole movie, was a loose ridge tile. I should get the film clip on that and add it here. But all of this was seen from a drone right there. Bad shape. Everything on my parents' house at the top needed to be redone, not just a few repairs here and there. This is a house in Bentwater. It's about an $800,000 house. You can't get that picture from the land. Whoops, what happened here? Just one vantage point from showing off the house from the back, but then also went high. But I'm going to show what it looks like. There's a vacant lot right here that probably will never get developed, and then you've got the roof line of the house and so on. But also, here's the house right here. That's the view from that house. You've got the big island. I'm sorry, that's the small island in Bentwater. So from this house right here, you've got this little bitty alcove with this island, and that's the view from that house. Put that on an ad listing, and it'll help it. And then if you're looking from the property off to the left, that's what it looks like out onto the main body of the lake. And I took all of those pictures from the same spot with, well, several of them at the same spot with the drone. I just turned it over the water. This is the house over there in Jacobs Reserve. It's an emerald home. Rather than taking the picture from the ground level, pop the drone up about, I think that's 20 or 25 feet, and it just makes the house, I think, stand out a little bit more. Yeah. I'll tell you on this inspection, it's a 70-something-year-old couple. They're hoping that this is the last house that they ever buy. Brand new, $400,000 house. This brickwork right here, now I didn't use this for the drone, but I'm just telling you this as an inspector. The brickwork right there on that little spot was so horrible, I called it out. Unsatisfactory. I even went and took pictures of 2 other houses on the same street and around the block that Emerald Homes built to compare. Emerald Homes took the brick off and redid it. It was a deal breaker. If they didn't fix that, this couple was backing out of that house deal. I was wondering what Emerald Homes was going to think about me. I didn't care. I had to do it. That's the roof line. I use the drone to show people on good roofs the way that the water is going to shed off. And as an inspector with your client, I will explain to them that's a really well-designed roof, because everywhere the water is going to shed off really, really well. You need a gutter system, but it's going to shed off really well. You're not going to have any points where the water is going to be hitting a vertical wall. Some houses I look at and I think, who designed this thing? This is a good roof. This is a property over in Lake Conroy area also. Took an aerial photo just for the lady. In fact, this is one of the ones where the homeowner was here, and I'm out in the driveway with her. She wanted to see this thing. She was having a blast. But if I were to take this as a real estate photograph, what is not a good feature about this picture?
The sheds.
The commercial next door.
Commercial next door, okay. What else would you think? Maybe. If you're trying to sell this home and you got this big thing next to it, what's it do?
Draws your eye to the bigger.
It does, it does. So, crop it. Got the shed in the back. It's a little garage that can actually be a whole work area, but you can crop the picture and adjust it. So you can take a bigger picture, crop it down, and use it for your, and that could be a property listing. Get it from different angles. It's actually, this was, I believe it was a 2-acre piece of property, so it went all the way back to here. But if I was showing this to somebody, I wouldn't focus on that one because you got 2 houses with pools back here, and you big 4-car garage. I looked it up. This was the smallest, least expensive house on this whole little gated street.
I like it because it shows the flow of the driveway.
Yeah, yeah. Does that still show a little bit of the flow?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I could have cropped it lengthwise also, but this is just one way I wanted to show you that where you can crop it. This is a friend of mine actually. I've known him for years. He left the air conditioning executive world and founded his own air conditioning business. And the last 5 years has just really knocked it out of the park, doing well. He owns a waterfront home in Kima, and he bought a sailboat, 41-foot sailboat, and completely reconditioned it, and they've traveled down to Cancun 3 times in the sailboat across the Gulf of Mexico with his family. He's quite the adventurer. There's his family right there waving on the 2nd floor of the house. My great-grandfather owned a house on the bay. From the air, you can see where his house was, and I grew up going to that house in the early 60s. Hurricane Carla, I remember Hurricane Carla in 61, just all the debris that was there. But I sent the drone straight up, took a picture of his house from that. I just think that's a cool picture. But then I took a picture, if you were listing this house and you wanted to show what the area looks like from the house, there it is. Makes it pop, doesn't it? You ever been to, let's see. I thought, yeah, okay, there it is. I could circle it. You know what this right here is? Kima Boardwalk. That's how close they are. You come out this little alcove right here, boom, boom, and there's here. My great-grandfather's house was right over here. Doesn't look anything like what it did back then in the 60s, but there's two pictures. This is a house up in Cape Malibu, up in Willis. The lady that owns this house, I took the pictures for the real estate listing. The lady that owns this house has done, you've never seen anybody do more yard work on their house. You just can't even see the house from the back. It's hidden because there's so much vegetation. Trees, they built the house, she's planted everything. It's just been her pet project. They lived there for 18 years. Went out in the street, tried to take a picture of the house from a little bit of an elevated view. Any higher, it was hidden. But I went to the backyard and sent the drone up inside the trees and took some pictures. This is the back of the house. You can't even see the house, can you? It's hidden. But that's the boat dock, that's the shed. And so then I went inside the property and took pictures of the house. I actually clipped a tree and broke one of my blades. I was just getting too close, and I learned another lesson. But all this rock work and vegetation that she's got back there, trails, this is a pond with fish. You see how close I am to the crepe myrtle right there? I mean, the leaves are blowing because of the wind from there. I'm actually around here on the deck taking pictures, so I wasn't in the photo. But this picture is actually on the listing right now. The house is for sale. This is of their shed, but from the ground it would look one way. I went up just a little bit, and it got a good image of the picture, the view from the lake, and then there. This is that property that's on the front, right there with the red lines on it. And it's 14 acres. It's on 830. This is actually across the street from my house. He's my neighbor. So he lets me fly out there. I actually learned how to fly my drone on his property. So I was just kind of experimenting with it. This is the barn, the house, swimming pool, the garage. He's got a 1956 Corvette that just makes you drool. It's red. And then he's got a 69 Chevy Malibu that's red. Every vehicle he has is red. He's got a nice red truck too. He's in the construction business. This is the pond on his property. Took a picture of that from the air. This is a golf course lot. You could actually draw the lines to it if you wanted to. Over the golf course, went up and kind of took a picture to try to see what it looks like in there. You'd have to clear some trees to build a house. View to the left and the view to the right from the golf course that you could put on if you're just selling a lot. There's the picture at Champions. There you go. You recognize that? Let's see. There's Frank right there.
No.
I'm sorry, Adam.
White shirt.
There's
yeah.
Frank right there.
Yes.
Who else do you see in there? You see there's all your chili and...
Who won that chili contest, by the way?
I
You
wonder.
did.
Yeah.
You did that.
He did. I knew that.
See Abby there next to me? She was
Yes.
my ambassador. She was
There you
like,
go.
vote for my daddy, vote for
Yeah.
my daddy.
That's
She's
Rod's
so
wife right
cute.
there.
Yeah. But you know what? This is the first time I used my drone for just an event. I asked Frank if I could come out and just take some pictures. But do you think people like it?
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
All kinds of folks were coming over to me while I was flying it around, just curious about it, stuff like that, and then watching it. Now, you've really got to be careful, and you got to know what you're doing when you're flying around people. If that thing fell, I probably wouldn't be here this morning either. But you can use it for all sorts of stuff. Downtown Skyline, I had to go visit with a commercial real estate friend of mine that I grew up with. It was a picture perfect day, had an extra hour to kill, so I went down there to Buffalo Bayou, and there's a parking lot right there on Allen Parkway, and I pulled in, and boom,
How high were you?
You took that.
400 feet.
400 feet.
Mhm.
Oh, I'd love to have that.
You would?
That looks like
Yeah.
a Facebook banner.
Yeah.
I actually put it on my Facebook page as a banner.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's, okay.
Now, I cropped it too. I cropped it to where it was
Yeah.
thin and long rather than the big, more square picture. What was funny is that as I pulled up this little parking lot, it's like a jogger's parking lot. I mean, 15, maybe 20 slots. And when I drove up, there was a guy there setting up a tripod, a big tripod. It looked like a surveyor. And the area where I was, it was an elevated kind of a hill and steps up to it, and then this huge open area. You could play ultimate frisbee down there, stuff like that. Just a really neat place for people that live in that area to go to the park. And nobody was there. And so I take my drone down there and I go back up the hill and I start to fly it, and this guy's setting up, then he starts setting up a video camera. And then Jeff Ealing with Channel 13 News shows up. And so Jeff Ealing's fixing to do a spot. Well, I've got Jeff and this other guy watching me fly my drone. And they're wanting to, some information. So I don't have the picture on here, but I wound up getting a picture with Jeff Ealing, and we've communicated some as a result of this. Something else happened with another news guy I'm going to show you in a minute, but I took that with a drone from 400 feet. And then, while from the same point, I was flying all around the area of the bayou and I took this picture of two buildings on Heights Boulevard near Allen Parkway. A friend of mine his office is in that building right there. But you could not take that picture from the ground anywhere. I'm over the bayou right now, actually, taking the picture. And then I zoomed in on a little bit. So then I thought, well, I'm going to go have some fun. You know what that is? That's the new Exxon Mobil.
Oh.
Oh, man, I've never seen a photo of it.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
I went on a little bitty kind of a dirt back road. I thought, is somebody going to come? And,
Uh-huh.
Are they going to see me flying my drone? But I popped up. I mean, I'm a couple of streets away from it. This place is massive.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like, especially this building right here, you feel like you ought to be seeing hovercrafts flying around the whole place. It looks like something out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But this is the ExxonMobil facility.
It's dense. I had no idea it would look like that.
Yeah.
I know, it looks so different from the ground.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Wow.
But that's it. Yeah, and you can capture it with one image with a drone. I don't know what height I was at with this right here. I really don't know. I'll go. The drone will only go up to 400 feet, which is an FAA regulation. This one will go about 1,200 feet away. Also, I don't even want to go that far with it.
Yeah.
But you can go up. I'll take pictures at 400, 350, 300, 250, 200, just to see what the different it looks like. And it really is amazing the differences. The picture of the skyline right there at 200 looked totally different than at 400.
Are you getting a live feed of what the camera's seeing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you can position it accordingly.
Yeah, I can see it right here on this screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a touch screen, and I can see exactly what it is that I'm taking a picture of. Yes. Uh-huh.
Crazy.
And so as it's going up, where I live, I can see Lake Conroe in the distance. I live about 3 miles away from Lake Conroe. At 200 feet, it doesn't show up as much, but when you get up higher and look down, the whole perspective changes. And so depending upon what you might want to have a photo of, it really is amazing the different vantage points. I was doing an inspection on Saturday, December 12th, and the weather was really, really bad. This was the day of the tornado in Willis. The next day, it was a picture-perfect, beautiful day, and I thought, I'm just going to go take pictures. The building is totally unusable, and I am right there in my van. Sent my drone up from that point over there, flew it over the whole area, and got that picture of the building. Just absolutely devastating. Look at this building here, untouched. Untouched. And there's all sorts of stuff just thrown around like incredible. And then a little ways down the road, these trailers. This is the Fish Pond restaurant, if you've ever been there in Willis. These are RVs that are just scattered like matchbox cars.
Wow.
This is a Channel 2 news truck. My van's right here. After I finished taking the videos, I walked up to the Channel 2 news truck, and the newscaster was inside the truck getting a bite to eat. The camera guy was working something on the deal, and I asked him what they were doing, and they told me, and they just finished doing a news spot. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just taking pictures with my drone, just having some fun. Did you get any good pictures? I think I did. You got a card? Okay. 30 minutes later, Jeff Eisenbaum with Channel 2 News was in my home looking at my videos. He winds up wanting to use 2 of my videos that I took with the drone. Oh, I'm not online here. What's,
It's Woodlands Wireless. You should be able to log right in.
well, it might take a little time, but Woodlands Wireless.
Yes. There you go.
Any code?
Well, you're probably in because you've been there before.
No. No security key?
Set your caps lock
Yep.
2F6B93F3FA.
Wow.
Why can't we change that?
I'm impressed.
No idea.
Like a remix.
Something normal? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's embarrassing when I look at the clients.
Let's see if I can get it now.
It's one of the greatest people to be on the videos.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Where do they find those
We
people?
found Billy Bob.
Yeah.
Here. He's got an opinion about this tornado thing.
All right. Developing story. Well, I was really surprised I took the video that I shot and connected my computer to my TV at my house. And I mean, this guy and his camera lady are there in the house. They're watching. Oh, we wanted that one. Oh, we want that one. I think I took about 4 or 5 videos, and they took those and they clipped them. And it was funny. When I was filming this, come on. When I was filming this, my drone got away from me. Depending on the way that you have the drone positioned, if it's positioned that way, then it goes one direction. If the drone's this way, then this direction with the toggle switch makes it go a different direction. And so it was over the building and I couldn't quite see it. It had just gotten out of my line of sight. And I was holding the building, I was holding this thinking I was going up, but I was going away. My drone was leaving me. And all of a sudden, oh no, where is it? So I'm running trying to see it. Well, my video camera was still on. And when I finally saw my drone and I brought it back to me, and my drone is flying toward the building, the video I took by accident is what he wanted.
Yeah.
I learned a new filming technique by accident. And for some reason it's not... let's see.
Yeah, just refresh it.
Yeah.
That usually works.
We're also learning more about an EF2 tornado that touched down over the weekend in Montgomery County. The twister leaving this trail of destruction and rattling the lives of the people in its path. It touched down near Willis, leaving debris scattered. Now cleanup is underway. Channel 2's Joel Eisenbaum is there as people continue to pick up the pieces. And Joel, what are these people telling you?
And here's like a freight train coming down here further down the road. And I said, oh no. Mac McLaren is one of a handful of Willis residents living feet from I-45 in North Montgomery County who had a rough weekend. Wow, they got the tornado. That tends to happen when a tornado rolls over your home. There are a couple of blocks here off Highway 75 that got hammered Saturday with wind speeds up to 135 miles per hour. ProVantage Inspections
There
in
you go.
Conroe lent us their aerial video of the aftermath. Were you worried about your own safety, Mac? I was worried about more, but yeah, about safety and maybe my dog. I was worried about my dog, I guess, more than anything. Mac and his dog made it. In fact, so did everyone else as far as authorities know, but their belongings are a different story. At least 2 mobile homes inside the convenience RV park in Willis are no longer here.
Wow.
Their owners, thankfully, weren't home. And just a mile south, you can hear the building ripping apart.
Got another short little clip.
Metal bending, popping.
Right.
Metal building
That's it.
manufacturer may need to build themselves a new one, at least part of one, with employees stuck inside.
All I did was had it hovering and then just turning it, taking the film.
Serious injury during what was no doubt a serious tornado. And even with all the damage, disaster assistance is a big question mark tonight. It may be limited though. This area was no doubt.
So they don't
hit
use
hard,
drones?
but keep in mind, this
They
is
didn't
just
have
a
it.
small piece of a small town.
No, they were so excited to get this aerial footage, and I'm telling you, I was there, and I got a phone call. I had just taken the card out of the drone and was working with it on the computer to see what it looked like, and I get a phone call. Lee Rushing, this is Jeff Eisenbaum with Channel 2 News. I understand, blah, 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 blah. And I mean, he was at my house in minutes. I live 8 miles from here, from the site. So I live real close. It was convenient for him. It just worked. And this was about, I don't know, 11 or 12 o'clock. And I wound up, I mean, it was on the news that night.
That's nice.
So I've got this clip that I can use now, you know, it's on the website. And Jeff was great to work with. I mean, really was. Kind of just a fun little quick experience. You know, they didn't pay me a dime for it. They said they couldn't pay me for it, but they'd give me credit for it. So I said, you know, sure, yeah, let's have some fun with it. But then I thought, I'm not going to be like an ambulance chaser with my drone looking for damages everywhere. But if something were to happen, an aerial photo of something damaged on a house or a commercial building or anything might give a different vantage point that could be beneficial for the owner of the property I've thought about going to the people that own this metal steel building and seeing if they want the aerial photos, because they probably don't have one. They start fixing the building immediately, and you can see now it's not even finished yet. And this happened a little over a month ago. And so lots of different ways to use it. Commercial pictures, commercial properties, if you wanted to get a picture of a building that you're wanting to, maybe, I don't know if you do commercial stuff and you're helping lease properties in there, show the whole building from the air. All kinds of different ways.
You should print it, frame it, go sell it to them for $8,500.
No, 300. Anyway, any questions or comments? Thoughts? Frank?
Well, I presume that you are making your services available to real estate agents.
I do, yeah.
I know
In addition to using this as an inspector,
Right.
for inspections that I do for your clients,
Yes.
then yes, I will go out and take, I did 3 real estate listings for an agent up in the Conroe area, Cape Malibu and 2 in Bentwater,
Are you shooting the regular interior photos or just the drone?
just the area.
And what does that cost?
I'm doing them for 150. There's a guy here in Houston that is doing aerial photography. He will give you 4 pictures for $140
Okay,
for 30 to 70 feet elevation.
okay.
I've got the price sheet at home. I just was looking at it. $200, he'll give you 12 pictures. I'm not gonna,
So what do you do?
$150 just for all of them,
For how many?
or whatever it comes. Depending on the property that you go to, I went to one property they wanted me to photograph. It was just so covered with trees and everything. All you could get was straight down and the garage. You just couldn't get anything. You just couldn't. And so depending upon the property, but on other properties, I might get 20 pictures. All kind of vantage, top, side, angle, different, left on the water, right on the water, straight away. And then you can use whichever ones you want to.
Okay.
But $150 if it's, over 30 miles away, a trip fee as well. Depending on, where it is, if you want to go, you buy me lunch too. But $150 for a trip.
How quick
a
can you go?
no-brainer. Yeah, go ahead.
It just depends, call me, depends on my schedule. I do inspections. But it's the kind of thing I can fit in. The batteries on this, I have 2 batteries with it. They last about 20 to 25 minutes each, depending on how you're using the drone. But you're in and out pretty quickly. And so, I won't be on site for any longer than an hour. So I can fit it in today with days where I am also doing inspections as well. So, and then it just depends on where it is, proximity. But usually I can get to a property, within 2 to 3 days.
Okay. I have 2.
You got 2? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, Lee is a great inspector too.
Okay.
His report-
I love inspecting houses. I really do. I like working with folks. I'm on your team. I'm trying to help you help somebody find the right house. I just enjoy visiting with a customer. I helped a customer the other day, a young couple, engineer grad from Laterno. They're expecting their 3rd child, first home they've ever bought. Man, I love visiting with them and helping them out. I wish somebody had helped me with my first home and my second home